Welcome to Lawless Podcast with Justin and Clayton. I'm Clayton. This is my buddy Justin. We're just a couple really good fellas. There's no reason to drag it out. There's no need.
Say what needs to be said.
Yeah, we're just a couple good fellas.
Good fellas.
Uh,
We're going to talk for about 2 hours or so, give or take.
yeah, yeah. You guys are in for a treat. If you have a need for facts, hard facts and dates and names,
You're in the wrong place, baby.
this ain't your place. This ain't your place. If you'd like to just hear two homeboys chop it up, and every once in a while bring someone else in,
But
great.
again, I just feel I mentioned this last time. I feel like we most of the time we are pretty factual. Like I don't know that we
Oh yeah,
like it, but maybe it's just
we don't
on
mislead.
maybe it's on accident. Like we just happen to just be right about most things.
When sometimes when someone's intentions are too pure and they're too righteous, the 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 need to translate the emotion of the story overwhelms the need to translate the facts of the story.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I had no intention of going this way. I didn't know where we were going to go, but I think that that's kind of a pretty good illustration of what we get with the Bible. Like stories that are not factually probably true, but maybe are conveying an emotion.
Go
Let me
on,
just
son.
let me just pause real quick and say that this here cat,
Okay.
she's in heat. Okay.
Right.
She's down here just whoring around. Uh, she's like the prostitute in Proverbs that is like calling
Mm,
out from the street, like
yeah.
trying to lead men to
Hello, boys.
and
Meow.
so she's just
Hello.
it's so obnoxious. She's just down here like rubbing herself all over everything and like calling out and just like, damn girl.
Yeah, man. I feel like, see, that's strange. That might be strange to folks nowadays because everyone gets their dog and cats spayed and neutered.
Oh,
But
not us. We
No,
keep it natural.
keep it all natty out there. I'm
That's
about to
right.
say it makes me hearken back to a time where I feel like there were more strays. I feel like there were more strays back in the day.
Back in the glory days, back in
In
the
the
good old
glory
days.
day. And you would see, like, you'd go over to your buddy Justin's house and you'd see a cat with her back arched. And as
Oh,
soon
it's
as you
just
walked in the door, she was really interested in you. And she ran up and slammed her back against you. And
yeah.
that might be a little off-putting today, actually.
I mean, it's kind of off-putting to me because I'm like, look, cat, I'm not a cat, first off. All right. So you're
Yeah.
barking up the wrong tree, you're meowing up the wrong tree there. But second, like chill out.
Yeah.
Chill out with the full court press.
Jeez, have a little modesty,
I just got
Mittens.
here.
Come on.
So that's probably not the last you're gonna see of her. And I don't know if you can hear it or not.
Yeah,
I think
I
I
just
think
heard it.
she does this like gross like and she's just looking for love, dude.
Mm. What's worse? What's worse, an annoying dog in the background or an annoying cat? Because I feel like annoying dogs in the background are so fucking annoying. We can talk about an experience you and I had recently with an annoying dog in the background. Just
I- I'll tell you here. I'll just in the spirit of cutting to the chase,
sure, sure,
I'll just
sure.
tell you, it's cats.
Cats.
Because
Okay.
because here's the deal: if a dog is being obnoxious in the background, you can be like shut the fuck up. Even right now, my dogs upstairs are like, okay, my bad. I don't know what I was doing, but I'll stop. Like they get it. This cat, though, she's like, no, let me see if this briefcase wants to make sex with me. Like,
Uh-huh.
like
Uh-huh.
you can't stop a cat, right?
Yeah.
They don't either they don't get it or they don't care to get it.
I
Uh,
was gonna say it adds an extra level when you think of the mechanics of what she's begging for. Like you're like, what are you
it,
asking of me?
I think it would be borderline. It would be borderline pornographic for me to show you what she's doing to my briefcase right now.
Right now. Oh my Lord.
That's a I think that's a label that we don't want. That's
Dude,
a warning we don't want to put on our videos.
you know, man, I would, yeah, I would never want to offend someone, but yeah, there's, I feel like you were more apt. Maybe it wasn't as shocking in the 90s and maybe to the early 2000s. And the early 2000s is when you started getting a lot of folks. Wasn't that when Sarah McLachlan was in her arms of the angels?
In the arms of this poor dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it's also what was his name from The Price is Right? Was it
Pat
Bob Barker?
Sajak?
Nope,
Bob Barker,
not Bob
that's right.
Barker. Always telling people, remember spay and neuter your pets.
That's right.
Um, well, maybe I just like my pets to be able to enjoy life,
You know,
to
maybe I want
enjoy the beauty of life.
maybe I don't agree with the castration of a dog or an
Yeah,
animal period just
maybe.
to match. Mm-mm.
So anyway, that may continue throughout the rest of the conversation. Um, Something else that may continue is let me see your hands real quick.
Oh man, I hold my mic with one hand.
Yeah. So I know a little bit of the story about that thing on yours.
I'm holding up both my hands, and on
Oh,
my right hand is I bought the $20 steel frame brace from Publix
yeah, bro.
just to immobilize my wrist. Now continue. I was
Oh,
just illustrating what we saw. You
oh.
said
Well,
you know a little bit of the backstory.
you could also use it to immobilize your opponents with a heel strike to the face.
Palm heel strike, yes.
That's I like that. No, I know a little bit about the story that you got in a bike wreck,
Mm-hmm.
but um, you and I talk often about archetypes,
Uh-huh.
characters, archetypal characters, and again, I just realized another one that I had missed,
Oh
and
no.
that is the middle-aged woman that
Okay.
just for whatever reason always is wearing wrist braces. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like they've just
Yeah.
like, and they're really probably too young to have carpal tunnel.
I think of an old woman like from my childhood she would have been in her 50s, but today she looks like she would have been in her 70s. Like in
Okay,
2025 the face would be 70s, but from my childhood it would have been early 50s. This is a lady who's on a bowling league. She smokes, she hangs out with her gal pals. She has a
okay,
short bobby haircut. Um she's not batting for the other side, but she's just out of that race a long time ago, honey. She- and she likes she probably works in aircraft or she worked on a conveyor belt of some sort
yeah,
or
yeah,
you know, she was a lunch lady for decades
yeah.
and she's done with all that mess now and it's time for her to let it all hang out.
But she's still got the carpal tunnel to show for it.
Yeah.
She's still got the weak wrists.
Uh-huh.
So tell us about your situation. Why are you wearing that?
Well, you know, I live life on the edge most of the time. I'm constantly going just from extreme activity to extreme activity.
For sure.
And
Like what? Give us some examples.
well, so hold on to your socks, folks. On one day, I skipped today. I need to go for a run today. But on one day, I'll run, right? That'll be my
Oh,
workout.
holy shit.
The next day, I'll bicycle.
Okay.
The third day, I'll take that day off from cardio altogether.
God, you're on the edge, bro.
Yeah. And I'll keep that going. I'll rotate it one after another. Bang, bang, bang. I'll
You
go
better.
run, bike, rest, run, bike, rest.
That's
Just
extreme. Whatever you're looking for, you're not going to find it in these extreme behaviors.
right, right. I'm
That's
sorry.
not
Yeah,
going to fill the God-shaped hole
that's
inside
not
you.
gonna fill the God-shaped hole. So, on one of these rotation days, I happen to be on a bike day, and normally I limit my cardio to an hour. I say, okay, Clayton, you got an hour. Whatever you do in this hour, make it count.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll set a goal for like 5 or 6 miles if it's a run, or if I'm biking, I'd like to get 10 miles, 10 plus
Okay.
miles in that hour if I can. This day, I didn't have a bookend necessarily to put on, or at least it was far in ahead. I wasn't going to be working on the pod. I wasn't going to be working on editing. I didn't have an appointment. I didn't have any chores. The kids were gone at school, so this was just a me day,
Just
baby.
freestyle. Okay.
Yeah. So I make sure my PSI is good. I have a routine. Before, go ahead.
What type of bike are we dealing with here?
This is an Academy Sports Store Ozone, right?
A mountain bike or 10 speed?
It's a hybrid between a road bike, so it
Okay.
has like a rigid frame like a and when I say road bike, I mean like those thin tires that Lance Armstrong drives.
Okay. Okay.
It's a hybrid between that. It has a rigid frame like that, and it has the gear shifters in the middle that are like that. But it has a little bit wider tire and a mountain bike style grip on the tire. So it's like
Okay.
it's a road bike that theoretically you could take into gravel and take into grass and whatnot.
Does it have suspension?
No, no, no adjustable suspension. It's just a rigid frame.
Okay.
So you're
And
feeling every.
and the tires, I've been seeing a lot of these lately, like almost like beach tires. Like I see
No, that's not what
not
these are. No,
okay.
no, no, no,
So
no,
just
no.
kind of a traditional.
It's in between, and this is kind of getting into nerds, maybe, because for a lot of folks, maybe just an adult bike is an adult bike. But there's a difference between a mountain bike style width. Imagine a mountain bike style width and that road bike style real skinny tire. Well, this is a hybrid tire. It's in between that. It's in between that width. So it's like
Okay.
an inch. If the mountain bike style is an inch and a half, this one is just an inch.
Okay.
But it's got the tread on it. But like I said, it's got the rigid frame and it's built for you could hunch over and go a little fast.
Okay. All right. So that's what you're riding. And
That's
you've
what I'm
got
riding.
you're freestyling. You got
I'm freestyling.
no.
I got no day. So what
Okay.
I want to do is explore. I got a 5 and a 10 mile loop in my head in my neighborhood. I know exactly where to go to hit 5 and 10 miles in my neighborhood, and I'm using my Apple Watch as my barometer, my tachometer.
Okay.
Whenever I do my 5 miles in the neighborhood, and then I'm out. I'm exploring. I'm exploring this brand new place to me of Daphne,
What's
Alabama.
the terrain? Are we going through
Whew.
town or
No,
going? Okay.
no. I so out of my neighborhood, it's just a county road with no shoulder and no spot for a bicycle. So
I
I
like
know
it. I like it.
I know I have to go fast, and I know I'm gonna piss off whoever's on the road behind me.
Yeah.
S- and this is like 9:30 in the morning. So like most people should already be at work at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
You
If
know,
they're not, that's their problem.
exactly. So I get on the road, I book it, I hang a left out of my neighborhood. I'm heading toward there's a gas station and a firehouse that's gonna come back in. I pass them, I do some exploring. I clock about 15 miles. I'm feeling good.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I know I'm like at 13 and I know I'm on my way home. By the time I get home, I'm gonna be at 15, and that's a pretty damn good bike ride.
Now, is this are you hunched down and like getting after it, or is it casual?
It's like imagine you're driving through town and like the way you accelerate like that, like on a road where there's nothing, you're stepping on it. But
Okay.
if you're going through a neighborhood, you're taking your time on the turns, and
Okay.
you're being extra careful to look for what. It's like that. I'm doing that kind of speed on and
Okay.
off again. But in an hour, like an hour and 10 minutes, I get 15 miles. So I'm going fairly fast. Um, on my way back, I see this dark road, looks like a paved road off to the side in front of this firehouse that I didn't see. And normally I stay on the right hand side, so I wouldn't have gone taken it anyway. But I didn't see when I was going that way. So when I was coming back, I was like, oh snap, let me take this little road, see where it goes. And I'm boogieing. When I turn on it, I quickly realize, you know how fast your brain processes things, and you can see things in super slow motion right at that
Yeah,
second.
yeah,
I was going too fast to do anything about it, and too fast to even hit the brakes. But my brain registered, that's not a paved road. That's a gravel road. You're about to eat shit.
okay.
So, because I was already committed to the turn. Maybe in retrospect I could have come out of it and corrected, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I ate shit. Both tires went a spinning. I did a Ninja Turtle spin, but on my belly. Um,
Okay.
I as I land, both my palm hills, they both end up losing some meat.
Mm.
Take most of the absorb. My chin gets just a little nick, but luckily I'm a real man and have a beard right now because it's the
Hell yeah.
fall.
Hell yeah.
Um, I get a little road rash. Oh, my shin gets pretty well. My shin and right knee get
From
like cheese grater.
okay. You didn't get a pedal to the shin because that hurts.
It it was that, but I think most of it was the road because I was picking gravel out for a couple days afterwards. Like, oh, there's another piece.
I think I know the answer to this. I hope I know the answer to this, but will you
Uh-huh.
just confirm, were you wearing a helmet?
Fuck no.
That's my man. That's what I thought.
Hell no.
Yes.
Hell no, son.
Yeah. Come on. Fucking
Come
nerd.
on, player.
Okay. So you did, were the firefighters out there? Did they laugh at you?
The firefighters, I saw someone walking by like in the shadows. I wipe out. I'm on the ground. I immediately hop up. I see a car passing me, and in my head I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that this car saw me wipe
Yeah.
out, and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
"Oh, he thinks I'm a nerd." And it actually like it taps its brakes, but not enough to actually stop. To
He thought,
actually
he thought about
stop.
it for a second.
He thought he saw a 40-year-old man eat complete shit on a gravel road on the side of a county road and thought for a second, said nah. But I got up, looked around, seen the car do the brake check, drive off. I look in the firehouse, I see like someone walking by, like they were back in the shadows. The garage doors were open and
Okay.
they were back like against the wall and they were walking by. I don't know if they saw me or not, but I thought to myself, "Oh, I hope those firemen didn't see me eat shit just now."
Right.
I got on, I pulled my bike up and immediately tried to pedal away like nothing had happened, but my bike was in disarray.
Oh,
The handlebars had like twisted, they no longer pointed the direction that the tire was going.
so so you're you're biking home with your handlebars twisted to the
I, that's the first thing I notice. I'm able to get that fixed. Well,
okay.
then I try to pedal off again and realize my chain has popped off the loop. So I got to get the back and the front on the chain. Go through this whole process. Um, Bleeding, like the feeling is coming back. Some of the initial, I think, hormones or whatever have come down. And so I'm noticing my hand is starting to throb.
Yeah.
I broke this wrist before on a bike ride, on a bike fall in Bahrain, and another time in Tennessee when I was growing up. I have a bad history of bike accident. I thought
Yeah.
your archetype was going to be adult men who have bike accidents.
Well, that might be one, but I'm starting to think that maybe you don't know how to ride a bike as well as you think you do.
It doesn't slow me
You might
down.
you might take some lessons.
Yeah. Mm. That,
I'm just gonna let that sit for a second.
let that simmer.
I'm gonna let the silence just kind of settle in.
No, that's funny. It made me think. I've been I just got completely lost in that. What were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about you maybe need to take biking lessons or cycling lessons. We're
Yeah.
talking about getting the feeling in your hands. Firefighters watched you eat shit. You didn't wear a helmet because you're not a bitch. Um,
Dang, completely lost it. Um, Dang, I was going somewhere so hard. I smoked right before this. I can cut all this out. Gosh dang.
well, while you're thinking about that, let me clue you in on my weekend.
Yeah.
Pretty fun little
Oh,
trip.
please.
So I went out. By the way, I mentioned it before, but like we need to absolutely make this happen. You
Yeah.
must go on a Ragnar. You
Yeah.
must do a Ragnar with me sometime.
Okay.
And so what it is, it's a Ragnar trail relay, and this one was outside of Phoenix, in McDowell, Arizona,
Uh-huh.
which I'd never. Well, actually, I had been through Arizona a couple years ago when we did the same type of race in Utah. We did one at Mount Zion, but regardless, I don't know that I'd ever been to Phoenix, but I drove out to Phoenix. I stopped on the. My plan was I was going to drive most of the way the first day, like 10 hours the first day, and then the next day I would only have maybe 5 hours left. So from Wichita, that took me to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, I've been to New Mexico before. I've stayed in New Mexico before, on
For what?
the same trip. So when we were coming home from Utah, the last one of the recent Ragnar trips,
Uh-huh.
we had gone through the Grand Canyon, come back through New Mexico, and we stayed in um, oh, what's that town? It's kind of an artsy town, Santa
Take
Fe,
care.
San,
Okay.
Santa Fe. So I'd had some experience with New Mexico, and I mean, I didn't. It wasn't significant. I don't really remember anything about it. But I got to tell you, dude, I don't know what has happened to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
I, I was kind of scared. Maybe not scared. I was nervous. Like
See,
there were, and I've for anybody that doesn't know, I was a cop for quite 17 years,
yeah.
third shift for most of that time, and for most of that time, my job consisted of looking for meth. Like meth has
Right.
has always, at least through my career, was always like the big problem in Wichita, and so I'm good at identifying people that are on meth. Like
Yeah.
I don't know that it's necessarily, again, I
There's
don't always
people
check
that
my
watch
facts.
this show that are in recovery and they'll know what we mean too. Like not
Yeah,
to offend, but they'll
yeah,
know it.
no, yep.
There's a look. There's a look.
There, there's a look, there's a behavior, there's a
Yeah.
body, like there's a body movement. So, okay, so the first things first, I I booked my hotel like 2 weeks ago, and I was using Expedia, and
.com.
I usually I don't I don't generally care too much about reviews because I feel like there's only two types of people that leave reviews on a hotel website, right? Either you had an awesome experience and you can't wait to tell everybody about it, or you had a terrible experience and you want the business to go out of business. There's really no like there's really no in between. Like the type of person that leaves a
Yeah.
review. Uh
Like there's a why would you be a 4-star ranker? And yeah,
yeah.
it's either got to be 1 or 5.
Yeah. So but still it's something that I'm aware of. And so I'm looking through the hotels on Expedia and I find one and it's got 8.1 out of 10.
Okay.
So, that's pretty high. That's a strong 80%. That's a
Yeah, dude,
B.
that's a
I'm
B.
I'm
Strong
okay
B.
with that. Well, I pull in and immediately as I pull in the parking lot, I'm like, okay, they're going undergoing some renovations. No problem. I walk in and maybe they technically are undergoing renovations, but I feel like these renovations have been happening for quite a while.
Yeah.
Like like the renovation project needs a renovation, right? Like they started and then they stopped and now they got to start again, but it's really in pretty bad shape. But again, I'm like, well, I'm not staying in the lobby. I don't really care what the lobby looks like. So
Right.
he checks me in, gets me my key, and now I've been on the road for 10 hours, so I'm pretty tired. I walk in my room, and the comforter is draped, not folded, not neatly hung. It's like thrown over the chair, right?
The
The
comforter to the bed?
Yeah, it's just wadded up and like thrown over the desk
Uh,
chair because they're
Okay.
because some people do business there, whatever. So my first thought is, oh, this room isn't, it's not ready.
Yeah.
Like, oh, is somebody staying in this room? So I'm kind of looking around. There's nobody staying there. It's clearly been cleaned, but like whoever cleaned it was like, fuck this comforter. And they
Just
just
that last step, they're like, nah.
nah, don't care. But as I'm kind of, and I like the flooring was the peel and stick fake wood
Laminate.
grain. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was separated
Uh-huh.
all over the place. And so
So
there's
is it
like,
pop, 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 pop?
yeah, so there's pieces of this uh peel and stick laminate, but none of them really match up. And so you see the subfloor everywhere and it's all
Ugh.
bubbled up. And it's just like I'm just getting like gross vibes. And so I was like, I'm not staying here. Honestly, even if I don't get a refund, I'm not staying here. Uh, it's because that's the sort of place I feel like
Yeah. You're
it
just out.
probably had bed bugs, but I was going
Mhm.
to take a loss, not going to do it. So I go up and I tell the dude, yeah, man, I can't stay here. And he said, sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I can't give you a refund. And we're kind of talking, and he's like, "Well, check with Expedia. If you can get Expedia on the line, then I'll talk with them. We'll try to work it out." They worked it out, no big deal. I found a different hotel, get settled in, and decided to go to Walmart. And that experience at Walmart was like it was unlike.
What time of night is this now?
We're now at about 6:30. Yeah, 6:37
Okay.
in the evening. Um, do you again, I'm not, no criticism to anybody that lives in this area, but did you ever go to the Pawnee and Broadway Walmart in Wichita?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. It was kind of
That
like
that's a spicy Walmart. It is there's always a little bit of action
this
about to go.
always this is a Walmart, and this the one that I was at too is one that pays officers
Uh-huh.
part-time wages, which is pretty significant. Those
Nor-
part-time jobs aren't cheap, but they pay to have uniformed actual officers working there, not
Uh-huh.
security, not Securitas, not whatever, like actual. Um,
With a badge and a gun and
yes,
arresting powers.
yes. Um, and as I'm walking through this Walmart, the first thing is it's freaking packed. It's literally like Black Friday.
Uh-huh.
I've never been in a Walmart that was this busy that
What was
wasn't
the
on Black
special
Friday.
occasion?
I don't know. I asked the lady next to me. I was like, "Is it always like this?" And she said, "Yeah, it's always this busy." And I was like, "Holy shit!" But the thing is that I'm not exaggerating. Minimum of 75% of the people there, they would know their way around a meth pipe, right?
Oh yeah.
They would be able to quickly identify the difference between a crack pipe and a meth pipe, and
Okay.
some people
What
don't.
percentage did you say?
Easily 75,
Okay. Okay.
easily. Um, like I'm just looking
You
around and
see
I'm
four people, three of them
three of them,
have had
and
experience.
I'm the fourth.
You're always the fourth.
I'm the fourth. So like, yeah, everywhere I'm looking, I'm like, what is happening here? It was so weird. Um, so whatever, I get my stuff and I'm walking out, and uh, they're just like zombies. They're
Yeah.
literally like the parking lot is filled with people that just look like zombies. Like they're just kind of like,
You could almost like hear him ticking.
yeah, but they're not going that fast. They're just kind of like, just like no aimlessly walking through the parking lots. It was such a weird experience.
Yeah.
Um, so I went back to the hotel, slept, not very well, but slept, left as quick as I could. And I decided I'm hopefully never gonna stay in New Mexico again. Um, except on the way home, I had to stay in Tucumcari, but that'll be later on in the story.
Uh-huh.
So next morning I leave, get out there to uh, McDowell, Arizona. And the setup for the Ragnar, like I love it. I love um I call them running hippies. Like
Yeah.
there's a certain type of person that's drawn to these races. And it's a cool community. It's
Yeah.
kind of very kind of hippie-esque. Um and the way it's set up is like so we were team 179. I don't know how many teams there were, but I would guess probably 200. Each team, well, most teams have 8 people. There are some teams that are made up of 4 people, but that's by far the minority. So the
Yeah.
majority, so 8 times 200, 16, so maybe around 1,500, 2,000 people.
Oh wow.
Like there's just people everywhere.
Yeah.
It's all camping. And so there's the teams, you have your team area that's marked out with chalk or rope, however they do it. Um, and so you've got like my tent was touching the back of another team's tent. Like everybody's just
Right.
crammed in there.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, it's really cool. The way you start it or the way you do it is once you start running, once your team starts, somebody's on the trail the entire time until you're finished. It's anywhere from 15 miles to 17 miles ish. Like on the trail, it's kind of obviously they can't really measure it super accurately. Um, and I was number 5 this time. I usually prefer to be the first or the second runner, but I found number 5 was perfect because my first run was at like 1 in the afternoon. My second run was 9 in the evening. My third run was like 5 in the morning. So I got to experience the sunrise or the sunset and the sunrise while running in the desert. So that was really cool. Um, they break it down into green, yellow, and red loops. I think that they put too much emphasis on the distance because the yellows, while they're shorter distance than the red, for
Uh-huh.
me, they're just so much more consistently. The yellow loop is always more difficult for me than the red loop.
Then the red. Yeah, it should
Yeah.
be.
Well, you would think the red would be more difficult,
Right.
but like I handle distance well. I just don't handle
Elevation.
inclines and elevation. Um, so we did all that. That was super fun. Coming home, I really had wanted to drive straight through. It's
Yeah.
about a 15-hour drive. Um, and I guess I kind of knew that it was going to be pretty tough because I was just exhausted,
Yeah.
for one, you don't sleep well while you're there because you're in a tent,
Yeah.
and you've got people all over the place. And part of that is even though I didn't run, like my night run was at 5 o'clock in the morning, there are people all around that are leaving at 1 o'clock, at 1:30, at 2 o'clock. Like there's activity the entire time because
Yeah.
somebody at any given time is getting up or going to bed or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I knew it was going to be tough, and I was physically exhausted from just the run. Um, like couldn't quite. I walked like I didn't have knees. Like I'm just kind of trying to hobble my way around. Um, I was doing pretty good until I got to Tucumcari,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know what it was. You've probably experienced this, maybe probably on third shift, maybe, where your body's just like, all right, we're
Hey,
done.
dude. Yeah. You're
Yeah,
going to sleep, homie.
we're out. And so I was grateful that it happened like just before town. Like I was probably 10 minutes from town when I realized that this wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
Um, so got a hotel there, came home, or the next day I started home. I realized, so I took 54. Did you know that 50, I think you do, obviously. 54 goes all the way to El Paso
Yeah.
ultimately,
Yeah.
but from here to New Mexico, or from here to Arizona, it's 54 all the way to 40, and then 40 all the way, so there's basically 2 turns. But 54 is a 2-lane road for like 1,000 miles. I don't know.
Oh, really?
A ridiculously long stretch. It's a
Yeah.
2-lane road.
It's just you and the road and the lane
It's
next to you.
it's just me in the road and every semi going from Phoenix
Yeah.
to any like there
Fuck
were
that.
so many semis, dude. I was losing it. And I about actually I about
Yeah.
lost my life because there was a
Don't
point
you
where I was
love
like,
that vacuum, that suction that you feel when a 18 wheeler goes by? You're like, "Woof."
I got to tell you, I
You're
actually
like,
was
Jesus.
I actually was nervous about this one because I got to the point where I was like, fuck it. I went over and I slammed down and I see this car coming. I scared him enough that he like swerved and was riding on the shoulder, and I swerved and got in front of the semi. Uh, all things considered, it was too close and I shouldn't have done it. But I was
Uh-huh.
just so
Woo.
frustrated. There's just that point where you're tired,
I
you're
know.
sick of traffic. Like, why are we driving 20 miles out of the speed limit? It's a
Uh-huh.
70-mile-an-hour zone here. We're going 50. Like, yeah,
So 454, come together, but they split again. And um, I think it's 400 that I take all the time going home. Actually, going home tiered to Alabama, because it'll go into Missouri
yep,
and it'll dogleg down into I-49, which is a north and south interstate.
yep.
And it's kind of it's a lot of the same thing there that way of they'll have a passing lane like every 5 miles,
Yeah, yeah.
but in between there you got them dotted lines and it's like you want to roll the dice here, you
Yeah.
can roll the
And
dice here.
and everybody thinks that the passing thing belongs to them. Like, no,
Yeah,
motherfucker, you're the
yeah,
one I'm trying to pass.
pass, that's right,
What are
you
you
get in
doing?
the right. If there's
Right.
no one to your right, you get in the right,
That's right.
no matter
Yeah.
how fast you think you're going.
Yes. And so there were several times where I'm like trying to pass, but this semi is also trying to pass this semi,
Yeah,
and I just fall right back in line.
yeah.
Um,
And now you're sandwiched in between two semis,
and not going anywhere.
not going anywhere.
So it wasn't the drive wasn't a uh,
Were you
actually
looking for dope cars on the highway? Do you still
no.
do that at all? No.
Occasionally, well, it's always so much easier when you don't have to verify.
Yeah.
Um,
You're
there
like,
were a
oh yeah,
couple.
that's a load.
There were
Yeah,
a
that's a
couple.
load.
There was the one I sent you a text about the Honda. I think it was a Civic or something that had the John Deere sticker, um, which we know is at least affiliated with
Some
the
cartels.
Gulf, some cartel. Um, so I saw that and that was interesting. I saw a California plated car that, to me, from behind, it seemed like they were trying to avoid the patrol car that was in front of, that was in the other lane.
Yeah.
But anymore, I don't really pay attention. Um, I listened to a lot of audiobooks, a lot of podcasts. Um, so the drive was good. Um, I just lost my shit probably 10 too many times.
Mm. Every time I see a Texas plated car, pretty much in any part of the country other than Texas, I think there's dope in that car. Which is
You're the
good. Which is
you're
good
the
that I'm not a
reason.
cop anymore. Yeah, sure.
You're the reason, not
Sure.
you, but the Highway Patrol the Kansas Highway Patrol got
Uh-huh.
in some pretty big trouble not too long ago because it was alleged that they were
I think they
targeting.
admitted.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I think they did admit.
I mean, like, but think about it. So I was taught that you should look at any vehicle that's more than one state away. You should
Yeah.
pay close attention to.
Yeah.
That may be fair. Uh, to be honest, from the whisper stops I did, which a whisper stop is when somebody like
Like an intel share.
yes,
DEA says, hey, there might be a gray Silverado rolling through town with Colorado plates.
yeah, or even so. I mean, I had some pretty good stops that were like straight up on a wire, like we know there's dope in this
Oh,
car or
really?
there's cash in this car. Yeah,
All
um,
mine were janky.
yeah. No, I had some legit ones, but they were Kansas plated cars, and
Ah.
so like all you can use all of the different tools or tips or tricks, whatever.
That's why
But
behavior, I think, is the best indicator.
yeah, for sure. It doesn't matter if you're coming from Texas or if you're coming from California, New Mexico,
Doesn't
uh,
matter white, black, brown,
or 70.
or yeah.
The biggest, actually, the only load of heroin I got was from an elderly white guy.
Yeah.
Like he was so old they wouldn't prosecute him because they thought he was going to die in prison. Um,
Wow.
yeah, but anyway, so yeah, I made it back. It was a good time. I can't wait to go back. I can't wait for you and T-Bone is going to go on one.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and so one of the fun or interesting things, cool things about the trail relays is like when you think of running, you most people probably like if you think of a runner, you think of somebody who's generally built like you or I. You're bulkier than I am, more just
I'm pretty lean right now, though.
well, but I like just more muscular. I think like
Yeah.
I'm kind of skinny. I've always been skinny, and that's what you think of when you think of a runner. But on these trail runs, there's some stout people that do really well, and I
Yeah.
think it's because it's not so much. Well, for one, you really can't use your stride because there's
Yeah.
so much up and down, and like where I excel is I've got a long stride.
Is
So
that cat eating cat food right now?
I can't tell you what this cat's doing right now.
Oh, okay.
Does it sound?
It sound I hear
Yeah, she's trying to convince this stool to
to copulate.
make a baby with her. I've been thinking,
Oh,
this
Romeo, oh,
you,
Romeo.
me, maybe make a little stool baby.
You look like this might work.
Um,
But there's all types of body types on this trail
yeah, yeah,
run.
yeah. And there's older people, there's younger people. It's
It
it's a
it
it's an
definitely
equalizer.
seems like it's more of a mental game than a physical game also.
Yeah, yeah. And I wonder, like, I've gotten to the point where most of the time I'll for sure run the flats. I'll definitely run the downhills. But if it's uphill, like I'll give it a good effort, but I'm not going to wear myself out trying to run
Oh, you're
up.
just gonna stop and walk?
No, I don't walk. I mean, it's kind of a power walk, kind of honestly, a lot of it's hiking. A lot of it's
Yeah,
too steep to run, period.
to run up
Um,
here.
but
But and you're not
I
the only
conserve.
one. You're not like tapping out.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. That's what I was gonna say is I just have to assume that that's got to be kind of the standard, like especially with
Hmm.
the bigger body types. Like I assume
Oh
that
yeah.
there's probably a decent amount of hiking, you know, as opposed to running. But
I
in any
remember.
case,
Yeah.
we're gonna go. I think our next one, I think we're hoping to go to Rainier in Washington State.
Okay.
Um, and that might be a little too far from you, but we'll go out east. We'll find something out that way, and I'll definitely
Okay.
get you on it.
I remember the first time I ran a 10K and I had been like I 5K is always the max race I'd always do. And it's always like kind of an obligatory 5K like hey, so and so is doing a 5K. Okay, sure. I'll
Yeah.
do something like that. But I never did any I never had a reason to run any more than a 5K. Well, when I moved out to Georgia, I started doing some 10Ks. And I remember the first time I seen someone because at least for and usually it's like this. You always set yourself up like at the starting line. You the rabbits are up front and there's like the middle of the pack guys in the middle and you know if you're going to
Hmm.
be a turtle, go to the rear. Like
Hmm.
don't get in everyone's way. Well, there were some guys that looked like a traditional runner's build, like long and lanky, and were wearing the right kind of shoes, were wearing the right kind of clothes. Started off real strong with the rabbits in the front, and then like halfway, maybe even two-thirds of the way through, they would just stop and walk, and I my mind would go like, "What are you doing, my dude?"
Yeah.
Uh, what's real funny is the very first 10K I did, the I didn't know this, but the finish line was in a different parking lot than the starting line. So I got a ride with like a guy who an old local who had been in this running circuit forever, and he gave me a ride back to the starting line, and he was like, "Oh, is this your first 10K? Yada yada." And anyway, I tell him. how mind blown I was about people doing like 2/3 of the way and then just stopping and walking. And he was like, "Yeah, I guess everyone's just running their own race." I was like, "Oh, that's right."
Okay, Confucius.
Okay. Well,
Though that's I guess I haven't really done it for a while, but there for a while I used to really kind of process thoughts, and I really got some learned a lot of things from running, and
yeah,
that was one of the things that I had taken applied to the rest of my life was that like sometimes when you're running, whether you're training for a 10K or you're actually running an official event, you see people that you feel like you should be able to pass and you can't, or you see people that you think they shouldn't pass you, but they do. And the thing is that everybody's got their own motivation. So for
yeah,
one, nobody wants the same, like nobody in life, nobody's got your motivation.
right.
Everybody's recovering from their own personal injuries, like knee problems, back problems, neck, whatever, wrist problems. Everybody,
Childhood trauma, adulthood trauma.
yeah, everybody you're running a different race.
Yeah,
You've got
different
different
starting lines.
You've got, yep, different finishing lines, different goals, all of that. But so he's right. Yeah, everybody's running their own race, and you know, good for you if you, good for you if you beat somebody, or if you don't beat somebody, whatever. Like, just do your best.
Yeah. Yeah, shame on you, Clayton, for not knowing that all the time, for not being
Yeah,
enlightened.
fuck, bro.
Piece of shit. Unenlightened
Um,
piece of shit.
hey, enlighten me. What's going on in world events? Has there been anything happening, or is it all
Oh
pretty
man.
chill?
Dude, there's a lot. Okay, I might have to maybe preview this at the beginning. I wanted to say this somewhere at the beginning, but I went on that weird rant and then I'm still processing how I lost where I was going just
Did you
completely. I'm
figure
like,
out where you were?
no clue. No clue. I don't even know where I was going. Um, Shout out to the 33, about 3,300, a little over 3,300 monthly listeners we have between Facebook, Instagram, and now all of our new platforms.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, about 3,300 monthly. This today it was, well, for October it was 3,366.
Yes.
So that includes Facebook, which is by far where most of our listens come from.
Yep.
But Spotify, close second, YouTube, now Apple, anywhere listen to podcasts, we're on there. My wife listens to Amazon Music, so it's like Amazon Prime,
Hmm.
and yeah, we're on there too. I just got us. I just got us. I made sure we are set up for everywhere. So anywhere you listen to podcasts, we're there.
Now, is it true that when if somebody subscribes or likes or comments or whatever, does that does that have any bearing? I know it does on Facebook. Does that affect how you show up in, say, Apple or Spotify? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically, so the more love you give any channel, the more interaction you do, even if it's like a comment or a thumb up or a star or whatever. Anytime there's any interaction or even a view for that matter, the algorithm takes that as, oh, there's heat on this thing. Because all an algorithm is just a constantly moving math problem. So the algorithm says, oh, this thing's getting traction, people are liking it, people are thumbs it up, and so it'll put it into more suggested content based on what, like, oh, you like Lawless podcast and you also listen to Mike and Mickey's Mechanic Shop, podcast. Well, anytime someone's listening to Mike and Mickey's Mechanic Shop podcast, they're going to suggest Lawless with Justin and Clayton.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So
So
that's
we
how
need
that.
so we need people to like, comment, and follow, subscribe,
Yeah, go ahead.
all
We
those
put a
things.
poll on the last podcast of who would you like us to listen, who would you like us to interview next? And there was a couple interviews on that. That was on Spotify specifically, of like person we know, person from military, famous person, and it was 100% famous people. People, they're
Yeah.
they want us to up our cred. and get some famous people on here.
Well, I'm not going to say who, because I'm not sure the details of it, but
We have multiple. We're talking to multiple people.
I'm so excited about one of them in
Yeah.
particular.
Yeah.
Um, I feel kind of silly, like I just discovered him maybe a few months ago. I don't know. But I feel kind of silly, like I'm being some kind of fanboy every time I like or heart or
Yeah.
comment or something. I I'm like, I want to be like, no, legit, like this is great. And it's not just because I want you to be on the podcast, or it's not
Right.
because,
Right.
it's not because I want you to think that I'm like,
Yeah,
an
you're like,
admirer. It's just
oh,
actually is
these
really
guys
good.
want us on. That's why he's liking and hearting everything.
Which honestly, probably most people don't think like that. That's probably just
Oh
my
no.
my thought process that anytime somebody shows you love, it's because they want something from you.
I had to, yeah, that's healthy. That's a healthy mind frame. Um, I had to hear it again. I was, it was a Duncan Trussell. He's been on a couple of pretty good podcasts lately, but he was on one with Bert Kreischer, and he had to remind Bert and me as a listener that most people, like, I'm gonna go ahead and say all. Like, I can't for certain say all, but we'll say all people are not thinking of you necessarily right now. Like, don't worry about people talking shit about you. Don't worry about people thinking about this thing that you did. Don't worry about this embarrassing moment that you can never live down.
Bike
Because,
wreck or whatever, the
but
stupid joke, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
you said Davy Crockett instead of, Davy Jones, whatever. No one cares. No
yeah.
one cares. Most people, well, actually, everybody has their own thing going on. And if you're able to distract them for just the briefest of second, that's another thing these data clues let me on. Is people aren't listening to the whole episode. Or very few people are. Some people come in and out, like they'll dip and dive, which is kind of how I do podcasts. Like I go in and out of them. But if you get someone's attention, it's just for the briefest of second, and then they're off thinking of their own other thing. Don't
Yeah,
worry about people talking shit about you. They're not.
yeah. So what was the? I know that you shared that in the Garbage Boys thread, but I haven't listened to it yet. What was the gist of the whole conversation?
Oh, with Duncan Trussell and Bert
Yeah,
Kreischer, that was so interesting because um, they're so completely opposite. Like Bert Kreischer is constantly thinking of what people think about him. Like if you listen to his podcast, he's so annoying because but he's a very entertaining comedian. Like I know people like to talk shit about Bert Kreischer. Um, he can be annoying, but he's a very funny and
he's funny.
entertaining.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, sure. They're just so different. Bert always talks about himself. He always interrupts. He always loses his train of thought. He's always talking about like his addiction problems. He's always, even though he doesn't call them addiction problems, he's describing his alcoholism. He's like, "Oh, I have
mm,
like 7 or 8 drinks a night, just to go to bed." Like, people are like, "Don't you think you have a problem?" He's like, "Oh no, I got I check my blood pressure meds. I'm good."
yeah,
Um, that compared to Duncan Trussell, who's like almost this generation's Ram Dass. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like he's like a Ram Dass comedian. That's exactly what he is. And what's really weird is he only hit on it a little bit. Well, he didn't hit on it at all in this podcast, but he's only hit on it a little bit recently on his own. Is he's in this group of podcasters that are taking a weird no, I don't want to generalize that. Maybe I'm just interpreting my thing. He said a lot of pro-Catholic stuff recently. He said that his wife's Catholic and that he's been going to Catholic mass and that he kind of loves it. It's bringing solace to him.
Okay.
Um, and it's just maybe it's just weird, maybe because it's just the way I'm looking at it. But I think it's so strange that like in the era of me leaving established religion, There's so many people, a lot of them that I kind of look up to, or maybe not look up to, but at least I get information from in one way or another. They're going toward established religion and specifically toward Christianity, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but I have seen um, almost a rejection to a degree of Western evangelicalism. Like the
Yeah.
folks that are going Christian are, there's a lot of folks leaning into Catholicism or even like Eastern Orthodox stuff, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But the mega church, the happy hypocrite with the acoustic guitar, like that kind of pastor, is getting called out.
Yeah.
One of our guests that's gonna be coming on is gonna
Yeah. Yeah.
comes from that world.
Hmm. I think that there's like what you're describing uh makes sense, and I think that I can get behind it. It's the evangelical part that
Yeah.
scares me. Bother. It's more than scare. I'm not terrifies me.
Well, yeah, I mean there's a bunch of layers to that. So to rewind one step, like the evangelical part is scary for us specifically. But to rewind one step, the reason why Duncan going toward specifically Catholicism even or even Christianity in general doesn't necessarily scare me because I know he comes from like a Ram Dass tradition or yeah, he was on Ram Dass retreats and he's like made audiobooks with people from the Ram Dass camp. Um like it sounds weird. Like there's not even a very coherent way to explain this, but there's not like a religion of Ram Dass. There's not like a theology of Ram Dass.
Yeah,
Even even though he was very much a spiritual leader.
kind of the spiritual but not religious.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Spiritual, not religious. But one of the things that Ram Dass talked about very often and is really something that I identify with personally, and this is another thing, maybe I'm just putting my own shit on everyone, but religion as a vehicle to God. And so, I mean, not that Christianity is the, I'm gonna offend some folks, not that whatever Islam is the only way to God, not that Hinduism is the only, but it is a way to God.
Hmm.
And so I know because I've heard him talk about it. Maybe his thoughts have changed since then, but at least from the Ram Dass point of view, I can still go to church now, even though I had a problem with the established dogmatic Western evangelicalism, because now I see me going to church as a way to God, not the way to God. And
Hmm.
now that I know we've been picking and choosing since the beginning of what pieces we're going to follow and
Yeah.
what pieces we're not,
Yeah.
I can do my own freestyling here.
Yeah. I was trying to explain to somebody the other day, uh, and maybe I didn't need to explain it, but I was trying to explain that no, you don't get it. Like I actually believed this stuff.
Yeah.
Like no, I didn't just go to church. I actually like I believed it.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of people that probably good for them. I wish there were more. I think there are a lot of people that go to church that don't really believe like they maybe they would say, yeah, oh yeah, I believe that. But they don't really like take it to heart, maybe. I would have
Yeah.
criticized those people in the past. I would have
For sure.
said that, that they were lukewarm or that they were who knows what I would have said. But now I think that's probably the way to go. I think
Well,
that's
it's,
probably
yeah.
uh,
Well, I mean, it's the least pharisaical way. Like, because I was thinking of like how I was when I was a Christian, and I kind of imagine that you were too. Like, in the youth group, most kids, I know you guys didn't raise your hands at all, but you guys had a version of this. In our youth group, most kids didn't close their eyes and worship during praise and worship. But there was a small group of kids that did. I was in that group of kids.
mm,
In that group of kids that closed their eyes, there was an even smaller group that raised their hands. I was in that group of kids. There was an even smaller group, and this wasn't until I was like 15, actually exactly when I was 15, but there was a very, very small group of not adult teenagers that had spoken in tongues in the church. And I was in that group of kids. So, like, whenever
Yeah, yeah.
Paul's laying out his credentials of like, not only was I a Pharisee, I was the Pharisee of Pharisees. Um, that's, and I feel like maybe you came from that too. Like, yeah, there was a most of the church kids weren't in that deep, deep, deep part of the club that we
Yeah.
like to.
What it would have looked like for us would have been almost the opposite, where it's not the things that you do, but the things you don't do. So
Okay.
not only do I not swear, I don't listen to music with swearing. Not
Uh-huh.
only do I not listen to music with swearing, I don't listen to music that's got a rock beat. Not only do
Uh-huh.
I not listen, I listen to only hymns or whatever. Not only do I not watch R-rated movies, I don't watch movies. So it was the same thing, dude. That was a thing.
Yeah, well, I
That
know. I'm
that that
laughing because there we had versions of that, but I see what you're saying.
one of
Like
my
girls who wear the skirts, like with the super Pentecostal girls, still don't cut their hair, still don't wear makeup, still wear the poodle skirts down to their ankles, and like as
so one of
holy as you can be.
one of the things that no, I think I've told you that I'm just an emotional wreck these days. Um, and and I don't know this the song. There's a song by a fellow named Joshua I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name.
Colburn?
Um, Colburn, yeah,
Yeah.
that I really love right now, and um, it's called Prodigal Son.
Right.
And there's a line in it that says, it starts, in fact, I think it's the first line, "Oh, wild heart, at the age of 15." And then it talks about being kind of hoodwinked by a charismatic figure
Uh-huh.
in religion. And uh, I had a buddy, like this blows my mind. One of my absolute best friends, still is one of my best friends. We had gone to church camp, and he had made a commitment that he was never going to watch TV again in his life.
So
And
stupid. That's so
and his
dumb.
it's so dumb, but so he's 14 at the time.
Uh-huh.
Are you telling me that there's not a single adult around that could say, "Hey, great idea. Love where your head's
I
at."
love your passion.
But that ain't it. Instead, they're like, "That's awesome, bro. Yeah, I'll help you. I'll help you smash your TV. I'll help you do whatever." Like it's so
Encouraging this extreme.
yes. Yep. Instead of, again, like you've got this kid, this 14-year-old who just wants to do the best. Like he just wants to find
He wants
God.
some validation.
Yeah, he's just trying to be he's just trying to be what he thinks he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But there's nobody around. There was nobody around to say, "Hey man, you don't have to close your eyes to
Yeah.
get in touch with God. You don't have to speak in tongues. You don't have to wear whatever." Um, yeah.
Yeah, no one see that's the thing is that's the big problem with religion is it gets in the way between you and God. Like all these rules of what you should do, of the things that you shouldn't do, how you're supposed to dress, how you're supposed to blah 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 blah, the things that set you apart as God's people, will really sets you apart or gets in between you and God. At least that was my experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you have true religious experiences, what sometimes comes on by like prayer and meditation, sometimes can come on with like a psychedelic or a substance or maybe a combination of things. Sometimes can come on with a traumatic experience and you hitting rock bottom and
Yeah.
you putting your pieces together and then finding out there's another bottom underneath that again. Hey,
Yeah.
tell
Nope, not up here.
tell that pussycat to
Uh,
stop jumping around.
hey, Candle. Hey, Candle. I've been noticing you noticing me.
Oh,
We're about to watch some National Geographic up here.
I can feel it slide, baby.
Yep. Okay. We're rubbing our face all over. All right. All right.
Hey, let, I'm gonna start from most predictable to least predictable countries that have been listening to Lawless podcast with Justin and Clayton. Of course, the United States,
Yeah.
Wichita,
USA. USA.
USA.
That's why we're the best.
That's right. Second,
God's country.
second place where they belong, UK.
That makes
UK.
sense.
It makes
That makes
sense that
sense.
you're in second place, as where you should be. Third place, this is a shocker, Kenya. We
Okay.
have listeners in Kenya. After that,
Are you able to tell us how many listeners we have in Kenya?
I could figure it out, but it gives me a percentages. So out of the 3,366 listeners that were just listened on Meta and Instagram, so Facebook and Instagram last month, about half a percent were from Kent. These were all so it was like 95% US, and
Okay.
then it was, let's say, 2 point something percent UK. And then after that, it was 0.5%. So zero point 0.5,
That's 15 people.
15 people. Okay.
All we need, each one win one. So we
Yeah.
need you 15 people to
Uh,
go out and
each one win one.
each one win one. And let's proselytize.
Yeah, dude. Let's get the word of going.
Spread the good news.
The good lawless news.
What else we got? Who else is listening?
After Kenya, it's Pakistan.
Okay.
Pakistan.
Okay.
After Pakistan, South Africa.
Okay. We got the Africas on lock.
After Africa, South Africa, Bangladesh.
Okay.
Okay. After Bangladesh, I could see this, and I might even know some of these people, or at least know their family, is India.
Okay.
India, and there's two more after India, and these don't, well, whatever. Forget I said that.
No,
Forget there's
no,
any
no, 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 no,
judgment.
no, no.
Forget there's any judgment on these next
Because
two.
we're gonna get to the bottom of it, and I may have to issue an apology.
Okay. The next one is the Philippines.
Okay.
You know, I don't know about those pogies. And after the Philippines is Israel. We got
Mm,
people listening to us, at least 15 people.
I just want to go on the record to say that I don't have a problem with
I'm going to
Israel.
say anything that
Israel has
follows
got.
after this point is not intended
I
to
am
be
not suicidal.
anti-Semitic. Is not suicidal. I have no problem with Jewish people. I have no problem with the Jewish religion. I'm not crazy about the Talmud, but I'm not a Jewish practitioner, so my criticism is null and void.
Got no dogs in that race.
That's right.
Here's something that I'm nervous to throw out because I hope this isn't true. Is it possible that these are people uh, consuming however they get it from a VPN?
Yes, very possible.
Okay, I'm just gonna wipe that out of my thought process, and I'm going to assume that we
That
do
we
have
got people in
15
Tel
listeners in
Aviv.
Kenya. Uh,
Um, yeah, yeah. I want to assume that because I want to assume the people who I think's listening to me in India really might be the ones listening to me in India.
yeah, yeah. Well, if we do, I mean, I hope we do. I hope they're legit because I want to go on. I want to travel the world. I want to go to Africa, and so
Bangladesh,
not so much
South Africa.
Bangladesh. I mean, no
Oh,
offense, no
okay.
offense. Uh,
Okay. Well,
uh,
sorry.
but I want to go to Kenya. I want to go to where
Uh-huh.
else? Where else? Not Bangladesh.
Pakistan?
No, not Pakistan.
Okay. South Africa?
Yeah, I'll check that out.
While you're in Kenya, you can go down
I'll
south.
just, I'll just, I'll just make a jaunt down south.
What about Bangladesh? That sounds cool.
No, I
Oh,
want to go to India.
India for sure.
Yes, India for sure.
Um, Philippines?
Yeah,
Oh,
not so much.
okay. I don't blame you there. Now, and that's it. That's that.
I
That's
can.
it.
I guess maybe we need to get some.
Oh,
Maybe
here's some other demographics. The age group was 18 to 65. What
that's a
what do you
big. That's a big swath.
big swath? Majority was like 34 to 44 was the
Okay.
majority age group.
Okay.
In that 34 to 44, 52%, and actually ends up being the same for the entire demographic, 52% female.
Does that surprise you?
Baby, when you got it, you
You
got
got,
it.
listen, man, you can't just turn this kind of charm
Got that
off.
sports
Like
gloss, baby. You know what
we
I'm saying?
we try, we can try to turn it off, but it just
They told me keep it 100. I told them I ain't got no choice.
I mean, yeah, that doesn't surprise me all that much.
Um, man, I feel like we've spent like an hour and a half talking about nothing so far.
Well, I tried to give you the opportunity
Yeah, that's
to
true.
to give me some current events because
Uh,
I just don't I don't have the appetite. I don't have the desire to like go through the news, so I just rely on you to tell me what I need to know.
that's fine. I wrote down some highlights, and we can see if any of these grab your fancy. Let me go through the list, and you tell me if any of them, which you want to talk
If
about,
any of them
okay?
tickle.
Yeah, which ones tickle? Plane wrecks, and I combined this with roller coaster seatbelt incidences. There's been UPS plane wrecks and people, their seatbelts coming off on roller coasters. That's been
Oh
in the
shit.
news. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, Zoran Mamdani is the new mayor of New York City.
Okay.
He's Democrat, super progressive, openly. I don't know if he's like outright socialist or like this democratic socialist, but very socialist friendly, like the Bernie Sanders type of socialist.
Okay.
Um, Pakistan and Afghanistan has been fighting for about a month now. They've had a couple ceasefires and none of them hold. That's pretty interesting. And I think I there's a lot of CIA history in that. There's a lot of American and Russian interference history in that. Pakistan is interesting because they just got out of fighting or an almost war with India. That's one. Um, Trump and Putin both within like the last week have declared that they're going to start testing nuclear weapons again. America hasn't tested nuclear weapons in 33 years. And
Okay.
Trump this week said that the U.S. is going to start testing nuclear weapons again, which I don't know what that means, but it's got to include everything up to and including a test detonation, like setting some off in a desert or in the ocean or something. Putin, I read an article today that said Putin's doing the same thing. He said, "Hey, guess what? We're dusting off the old A bombs and we're going to start detonating them."
Okay.
Not not a great sign.
Yeah. No.
Um, the Senate is luckily the federal government is still shut down. But before they shut down, they were considering, I just looked this up today, a hemp ban, as in Delta 9, hemp derived, Delta 8, Delta A or THCA,
Good Lord.
the federal hemp ban to combat that. In this article, which has come from a conservative website, I minimized it now, but I had it on chat. Um, they cite a source like the Republicans in combating this, combating the threat of this hemp-derived THC, cite a study that says 9 out of 10 Americans want legalized recreational cannabis.
Well, that's clearly a problem.
Well, you can't look. Most people don't want this Delta 8. Most people don't want the THCA. They want the
Yeah.
real shit.
Yeah.
What
Which
can
we're
we
not going
talk
to give them.
about? We're not going to give them that either. And the last one, you so remember out of everything that I've talked about,
Yeah.
the last thing we could talk about is the shutdown finally hit snap on the 1st of November and hit all the food
Mm,
assistance. And on the night that it happened, which would have been October 31st, Halloween, the night that Snap shut down, the White House was having a costume Great Gatsby themed ball. So,
okay.
Great Gatsby was the early 1900s, kind of like the opulence and wealth and luxury, kind of like flagrant, wasteful luxury.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just that message. So, plane
All right.
wrecks, Zoran Mamdani.
I want to talk
Oh,
about roller coaster seatbelts
yeah,
banning.
yeah.
That's terrifying. What
Yeah, dude.
what's going on with that?
It was, let me find it because I don't want to miss anything.
Have you, while you're looking for it, have you ever gone to a carnival and just kind of taken stock of the people, and no judgment, but taken stock of how these rides are being assembled and wondered to yourself,
The type of people who's doing it.
I wonder how much care and concern has been put into this contraption that's about to spin me at like 80 miles an hour in all sorts of different directions.
Um, Man, I wish I could. It's not worth it to do it for just a little bit, but yes, that's terrifying. As I'm looking at this, I see ABC, Good Morning America, Facebook, Daily Mail, The Independent. Everyone's talking about this. Um, Yeah, there was these two girls behind some adults, and I guess like as the seatbelts take, someone walks by and yanks everybody's seat, cut, 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 cut. And I guess the story is as they hit go, there's these little girls behind these a man and a woman adult. They say, my seat isn't locked. And it's like this
Oh shit.
roller coaster shaking off. And so they're hollering, they're going over loops, they're going over the zigs and
Oh
the zags and everything. And the mother and the father, I don't think it's I think they just happen to be other adults,
yeah.
um, are reaching behind them, holding down their seat
Good Lord.
as they go through the part where there's the camera taken, or where there's the picture taken. These two girls are like huddled over, crying tears for their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
panic.
yeah. I mean, I'm feeling it right now. I'm just in my living room.
So that happens
Did,
at your state fair, at your county fair, or at the whatever amusement park.
yeah. So I'm assuming it's a happy ending, right? Like
Well, I think yeah, it was they didn't get flung off.
okay, that's the best we could hope for. That is a happy ending.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I've thought about that before. Like, when
But
you
there
get
have
into
been instances of people getting flung.
mm, terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But at least in an amusement park, you have to assume, it's permanent in nature, so you have to assume there's probably like some kind of checks and balances and inspections and all that kind of stuff.
It's
But
the type of people, and I don't want to spend too much time describing them physically, but you can picture
they were
you
they were at Walmart in
they were at
Albuquerque.
Walmart. They come in all shapes and sizes, all colors and tones, but you know exactly what they look like.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's them. They're traveling from town to town.
Yeah.
And
And any given day they may end up with five or six extra like linchpins or bolts. Like
I'd be surprised if that operator was there. Like if he has his if he's not talking to some fine 15
some
year old.
14-year-old chick
Yeah. If he's not talking to some 14-year-old, he sees this going on,
offering cigarettes.
offering cigarettes. If he sees them like holding down the seatbelt, he hears someone yelling, "Help! Help!" I'd be surprised if he's there when that roller coaster gets back. He is gone. All that's left is he flung off that county fair shirt
Yeah.
and he's
Yep. Just
hitting the road, son.
trail of dust in his wake.
Yippee-ki-yay. On to the next. Later, partner.
Um. Okay, so talk to me about Zorro
Zor
Andretti.
Zorro Andretti, aka Zoran Mamdani.
Oh,
Man, I couldn't tell you much of him. Let me pull you, except that he just won.
let me tell you from what I'm seeing on my social media.
You
I'm
tell
still
me.
I'm still in MAGA country.
Uh-huh.
I'm seeing posts about they've forgotten 9/11. Um, that this guy,
Why? Why have they forgotten 9/11?
because they elected this guy. Whatever, maybe it's because of his name, maybe it's because of his color of his
His skin
skin.
color.
One
He
way
was
or
born in
another.
Uganda. He was born in Uganda, which the terrorists were from Saudi Arabia. They weren't from Afghanistan either. The terrorists
Well,
and everyone who planned it and funded it were from Saudi Arabia.
yeah, but their names sound kind of similar. So people are saying that,
That's right.
that we've forgotten the attacks.
Uh-huh.
People are saying that he's a
Have you
socialist and
forgotten?
uh, that he's going to destroy New York, all kinds of stuff. The thing is that I just like when I see that these days, that just makes me honestly kind of take the opposite view. Like when
Yeah.
somebody says, "Oh, they've forgotten 9/11 or they forget blah blah blah," it makes me think, okay, well, this guy's probably onto something because you're clearly not.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. Well, that's why it's all, and I don't mean I got this from Candace Owens, and this is not a slight toward the LGBT community, but what she says, everything is fake and gay. Like I think everything is fake and gay, as in not the sexuality, as in retarded. You know what I mean? Like I think both the left and the right, they're both playing this propaganda game, and they're both the same. Like
Yeah.
we've talked about that on here, but the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans are this big. And that's what they want us to focus on because they're both extreme capitalists. Like if you go to most other countries in the world, the different political parties have different economic systems, at least
Mm.
economic theories. They have different religious theories. Some of them are
Mm.
theocracies, some of them are like based on these social foundations. All around the world, there's like a communists, these extreme religious conservatives, but also happen to be socialists, kind of like the National Socialists, the Nazis. Like there's these all these weird things. Here in America, we have Democrats and Republicans. They're both extreme capitalists. They're both extreme war propaganda, the military industrial complex. They both uh, are extreme supporters of the government of Israel for some reason. They're both on both sides seem there's evidence at least I guess not the words are escaping me, not definite evidence but circumstantial evidence that they're both engaged in insider trading on the left and the right.
Yep.
They both engaged like there was Democrats engaged going to restaurants and hair salons whenever they wanted everything to be shut down for some things. Same things on the Republicans. They want all these super conservative rules for thee, but you find out they're going to these drug orgies, which, you know, maybe today isn't as big a deal as it was back in the 90s when they all played super evangelical,
Yeah.
you know. Um, yeah, they're both fake and they're
Yeah.
both a CIA psyop.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the difference between the Republicans and Democrats is whatever the width of D and R, on the keyboard.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally the difference. But that's interesting. I didn't really, it hadn't occurred to me that in other countries or in other governments that the opposition or the alternative, maybe not the opposition, the alternative is a legitimately different idea.
Yeah, they
Like
have
it's a whole
different
different idea.
options.
Yeah. I can see how that would be uh, maybe not convenient to change your government every 4 years, to change your style of government.
Well, they have constitutions that like most of these countries also have constitutions like ours, but different. We have the most protecting as far as like civil, at least we're told, and I think we kind of do. We have the most civil liberty protecting constitution, but all these countries have a constitution that's supposed to be like a set of rules that they can operate in. So whether you go from extreme economic conservative to socialist to theocracy to whatever, Mussolini, backwards tribalism, they still have to operate in the framework of their constitution.
Okay.
But at least you get different directions. You get the starting of that direction. Kind of like where you see England at now. Well, I'm talking about like how they're policing their free speech in England. They're putting I think there was like 14,000 arrests in 2025 for social media posts in England this year.
Wow.
Um,
What for, like hate speech or
this
what
is what they're
specifically?
calling it. They're calling it hate speech. And I mean, Of course, there's different opinions and there's different angles, but if you some of the people that are like getting arrested and they're showing the social media posts that got them arrested, it's things like the UK has an immigration problem. And if you know anything, the UK is having an immigration crisis right now. All of Europe is, but the UK has been criticize so saying that the UK is having an immigration problem, if someone complains that it's xenophobic or racist or whatever, there's going to be an arrest made.
Now, one thing that specifically of the UK,
Uh-huh.
um, I found this interesting when I was in when I did my work exchange. I did a tour over there for 30 days with their police, and one of
There
the
was some
different
scotch and haggis involved.
there was um, the the standard they have to have the standard they have to meet for arrest is reasonable suspicion.
Yeah,
So,
which
you
is
know,
different than here.
vastly different. So, if you look at now, I just can't imagine like arresting for hate speech, at least like how I'm picturing what you're talking about. But the difference, I guess, would be here you would have to, you're presumed to be, let's say you're drunk driving. Here we have to have probable cause. Like you're more probably drunk than not. There it would be there's a pretty good reason to believe you're drunk, therefore you're under arrest, right? So there's different standards um, for what they would need to be able to arrest, but it's shocking that statement that you made would get you arrested.
So there was a British blogger arrested for posting a meme that said FUCK Hamas. It said F Hamas. And he was arrested and jailed for that
Mm.
because it's xenophobic or whatever, anti-immigrant, anti. Which here's the thing, which is, you can apply this to all these arguments, is I bet there really is a problem with people being hateful and even violent and racist toward the
Sure.
immigrants and
Yeah,
toward
yeah,
the
I'll bet so.
outsiders. I bet there is a problem, but this ain't it. So whenever it's crying wolf. Whenever you overreact so far and say, you know what, if you say any cross word about these immigrants, we're
Hmm.
going to arrest you. Well, my man, you're just creating a bigger problem. Almost like it's engineered.
I think that maybe, well, yeah, probably. I was going to say maybe not related to speech, but I think that's kind of how MAGA came around.
For
I think
sure.
that people
Well, Nick
felt
Fuentes was a reaction to that. Of
I
like,
still I still don't know much about him. I know we talked about him the other day, but
yeah.
I think that people whether real or perceived believed that their rights were being trampled, and
Uh-huh.
so as a response to that, it was "fuck you, my rights are most important. Like I'll do what I want." You know, then you've got MAGA.
Well, we had an episode taken down because we said something
That's
that we
true.
weren't allowed to talk about.
Yeah,
Which we're not whatever, but still, I mean, to a degree, we were censored for our speech.
yeah.
This show was.
So not that I mean I don't expect any government to be listening to us and be like, "Oh, this is how you do it," but obviously the answer is just have a conversation or just think rationally or work through the problems. Like if you've
Yeah.
got an immigration problem, let's talk about it. Let's work through it. Like let's
Yeah, I mean,
acknowledge it.
no one wants like it's not racist to say, and here's where like I think there's some hot water and you start to get into like there's comfortable zones on each side of where we're like, hey, I love you, you love me, let's just respect each other from our this like there's that type of space. But there's some uncomfortable zones that you need to talk about or at least have the conversation because there's a feeling of this country of like, what does this country look like for my kids and my grandkids? Like that's an honest conversation that someone's gonna have, or at least a thought that people are. And what is that when? And I don't necessarily mean the skin color of people. I mean the culture. Like
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
is there still going to be a value system that's anything like what I grew up with? Is there still going to be, maybe there does need to be this change, but man, I don't want it to be so radical. And some folks even feel threatened when you want to take away, when you want to change so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a conversation. It's not a simple issue.
Yeah.
It's not if you're against immigrants, you're a racist because
I mean,
that's
even in that, like even in that conversation about like necessarily our kids will grow up in a different culture than you and I grew up.
yeah,
Like that's just nature because of
yeah,
that's progress and evolution.
yeah,
And so
that's true.
instead of being afraid of, and this is, I think, this is where the people that I'm seeing on Facebook about they've forgotten, blah blah blah, like whatever.
Have you
We're
forgotten
we're so afraid of
about
losing
your
our
Pentagon?
culture that we're all just clutching our pearls instead of saying, "Hey, what if I and like you and I create something together
Yeah,
that's better than what I had before, better than what
yeah,
you had before?" And just like with mental health or with just progress in general, our kids are having a better childhood than we had.
yeah,
And so hopefully with that they create a different culture and our culture progresses and evolves and it's not the same. I don't want my kids to grow up in the same 90s 80s and 90s culture that I grew up in.
right. But you understand, I mean, you also understand why someone not to say that I want them to grow up in the same 80s and 90s, but you understand why someone would be afraid of their because I tell you what, there's a big difference between where I live now in southern Alabama and where I lived in North Georgia. Where I lived in North Georgia was very, very culturally diverse, which is great, but it was very, very populated, certainly overpopulated. That was one of the reasons why we left. It was very, very culturally diverse, very super saturated, populated, and it was not what Georgia looked like 20 years ago. To the point to where I just described the demographics of North Georgia to people here in Alabama, and they're like, "Oh, I could never go there. Like heaven forbid, I don't want that to come here." And it's not those brown people, or it's not those Japanese cars, or those high-tech jobs, or those Hollywood jobs. It's the replacement of them. It's whatever they want. They feel like that's being threatened, and it's being threatened by this new wave. That's why they see this new wave as a threat.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I think it's misguided.
Yeah,
I think
I
that
think there needs to be balance.
well, so I think as long as it's natural, as long as it's organic, then I don't have a problem with it. I do have some concerns, and I this could be something we talk about at some point. I've got a 22-minute cutoff here.
Okay.
Just a warning. Something that I used to see all the time, and even back before I was really paying attention to politics, I saw this, and it was always curious to me when I would stop cars on the turnpike. The number of Somalians that were being placed in the St. Paul
Yeah.
area, it was interesting to me because I would
Yeah.
frequently, I would stop a lot. Well, so 35 goes to Des Moines, it goes to St. Paul. So that's where, a lot of people I was stopping was going to those places. And it struck me as odd, like why, first off, they, a lot of times their dates of birth would be January 1st of whatever year. Um,
Uh-huh.
and the
Which
government
makes you
was,
think that it's a fake ID.
it does, but it's not. They were legit.
Okay.
And our government was housing or not housing, but placing people, these Somalians, in this specific area. And I kind of scratched my head like that's just weird. Like, what is it about St. Paul? But then I look at, well, then they elected how do you say her name? Omar.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to say it.
I can't say her name.
But
Yeah. The Somali woman.
yeah, and it makes me think, well, that's like why? Why would you do that? Why would you put such a strong concentration of a specific culture in one specific area, if not to, like, if there's not some sort of an ulterior motive?
Yeah, because it seems like the people are naturally going to take that as a threat. And when I see the people who had been there forever, the
Yeah.
normal Midwestern farming folks.
Yeah. And so I can sympathize with a feeling of loss of culture in that scenario
Yeah,
because it's like, whoa, hey, what are you doing here?
yeah,
And not when I say that, I mean like, what are you, government, doing here by
yeah,
putting all these people here? As
yeah,
opposed to if it's just a like the place where Somalians just happen to migrate to.
yeah.
Then it's natural, and then it's mine and yours and theirs, and it's our culture, as opposed to, hey, guess what? 90% of your neighbors now have this culture, so you're out.
Peace. Yeah, exactly. Deal with it is actually what it is.
Yeah.
And it's also how one's particular news media is presenting this information to them, because it depends where you're getting your information from. I have to think most people aren't watching TV anymore, but
Yeah.
if yeah,
I
if
would
you
say
were getting it, go ahead.
probably Facebook, don't you think? Social
Yeah,
media,
absolutely. If your
whether,
algorithm, what your algorithm's telling you.
and that's not necessarily CBS News or NBC or CNN. That's headline news with a Z.com,
Yeah,
right? Or
a
free,
lot of
free
AI bots.
freedom bangers. Like there's all
Mhm.
all sorts of this made up propaganda,
That's right.
but that's where people are consuming their news.
Yeah. And a lot of them are controlled, if not right, straight out by AI algorithms. It's by these farms that are in China and Russia and Southeast Asia that they're busting everywhere, of like people that are paid to just go through Facebook after Facebook. They're just bots.
Hmm.
Where it's an AI algorithm in a more advanced setup, and other places it's these internet bars with people that are just chain smoking cigarettes and pressing
Like
like.
at the casino,
Yeah.
bring playing three different slot machines.
Yeah. Yeah, that's who's posting that meme that's making you so upset. Or
Uh,
these
I
Russian bot farms. Yeah.
I took a screenshot, and I'm not sure I'll be able to find it right
Oh
away.
man.
It was just the other day of something that I wanted. I was going to show you and T-Bone
My
about like,
algorithm was trying to make me a Nazi the other day.
nah, bro, that was the stars were trying to make you a Nazi.
Isn't that crazy?
Uh, I wasn't real sure what was like what was that? What was the post even about?
It was like nature's hidden wisdom, and it showed the Big Dipper rotating around the North Star. And the North
Nature's
and
nature's hidden wisdom is actually found in the swastika, believe it or not.
It turns out the Asians knew something.
Ugh.
Hate these people. 999.
I can't find it. But I saw this post that I was like, if this ain't the most AI American propaganda bullshit I have ever seen.
I
Um,
mean, now the videos, like with Sora, they all have like three hands and three arms. I can tell this is fake. Like it's insulting now.
yeah, but you're a minority of people that can tell either.
I feel
Honestly,
that.
honestly, I don't know that a lot of people care because I think that a lot of people are like, well, if it's not true, then it's about to be true,
But
or
these
it's
are
close
like,
enough.
yeah. The ones that I'm seeing are like VA or like veterans organizations, like, were you affected by the base closure in 1984? And it shows like a three-legged Marine. You're like, hey, dude, get a real picture of a Marine, not this AI bullshit.
Uh, Dang it. Yeah, I didn't. I can't find it, but I did find this screenshot that I took that I was going to ask you about. This was something that Trump said. Um, I took the screenshot on October 24th, so a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And the quote here says, "I don't think we're going to necessarily. I don't. I don't think we're going to ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into the country. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
dude.
going to kill them.
That's
They're
pretty
going to be
contentious.
like dead. So here's my concern.
They're going to be
Um,
like dead.
that to me isn't a far jump from saying, well, the Mexicans are bringing the drugs, but the Colombians are bringing the drugs.
Yeah.
Like, like that's not a far jump to say that, well, even though that Mexican wasn't doing it, the Mexicans are still like
Yeah.
that. That seems like a real problem.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I mean, even by Coast Guard statistics, and the Coast Guard is like the major league players at busting these international drug smugglers, not by blowing them out of the water with Hellfire missiles, but
right?
by actual search and seizure and prosecuting evidence on these drug smugglers. They've been doing it for decades. The Coast Guard at like their best interdiction teams get like 3 out of 4 hits is an actual bust. So like 75% of, and these are the guys who have been doing it forever, intelligence led, like satellites, rockets, planes, tracking from the safe house to where they have a VBSS team, visiting board search and seizure team, roll up and get on with AR-15s and night vision goggles. Those guys, the best in the world, get 3 out of 4 hit. So you're telling we already have like 15 of these boats that have been blown to smithereens.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if those are the odds, we've already killed a couple innocent people. And
Yeah.
there's no declaration of war because he's going to say he doesn't have to. But my question is like what in the Constitution says that he has this power?
Yeah. And I mean, just the blanket statement of uh, we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay, we're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead. Uh,
I get what they're doing. Like this reality TV thing. He's playing for monster trucks, big tits, Budweiser, MAGA, American. You know what I mean? Doesn't have the Confederate flag on the Instagram profile anymore, but used to. Like
yeah,
that's the type of MAGA he's playing for.
yeah, you're right. Because there are people, there are the same people that say, "Oh, I would just turn the Middle East into a parking lot,
I'll turn it into
just
glass.
turn it into glass." I would just blow those boats up with, you know, and shoot rocket at them.
Hellfire missiles.
Okay, but what about the fishermen? Or what about the guys that are just maybe they're not bringing dope, maybe they're bringing people, maybe they're smuggling something, or maybe they're smuggling themselves. I don't know. But yeah, to me, it seems like a real like it's not far from
Well,
saying yeah that all South Americans or brown people.
especially Venezuelans. Here's why it's so curious about Venezuela in particular is we've been wanting a regime change in Venezuela. There was a guy named Hugo Chavez who is the
Mhm.
president back during 2006, 2007. When my wife and I first met on the George Washington, we were on our way down south to park off the coast of Venezuela to fly F-18s over the capital of Venezuela because Hugo Chavez socialized his government. The Socialist Party won, like they had these big extreme elections. The Socialist Party won, and he said, "Guess what?" And all he socialized everything. He was like, "All private land is gone." He did like a communist big takeover of the country. Taking BP oil, taking a bunch of like American, European owned assets that were over there. Well, yeah, that got the ire of the world's greatest navy, and so we went over since then. Since because of their and they elected, like they voted in Hugo Chavez. They had a democratic election, voted. They haven't had a great time since then. They
Nice.
had reports of eating their elephants from the zoo because they're so
Oh,
poor. But that's also because of the way that the world treated them after their fair democratic election. The world embargoed everything Venezuela and did tariffs and whatever, did all these trade practices to where they forced them to go poor and they forced them to partner only with the people who would partner with them: China, Iran, Russia, North Korea. And so, I mean, it's not even a theory. In every instance, these are the enemies that we create.
So in essence, what we tried to do is put so much pressure on the people of Venezuela that the government had to cave to take care of the people. But if the government doesn't give a shit about the people, then like the government
Th-
leaders didn't, they're not starving.
yeah, then you have Iraq, then you have Afghanistan, then you have Libya, then you have Yemen, then you have Iran. Like,
Yeah.
exactly.
So the tariffs or the whatever aren't affecting the government. The government's going to make it. The
Yeah.
government's going to stay in power and stay fat and happy.
Yeah.
It's the people that are eating trash or
Each other.
whatever each
Yeah.
other or not eating.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the people that are going to pay for the sins of their government.
And by the way, fentanyl does not come from Venezuela. It comes from China, or the precursors come from China, and it's all made in Mexico. Like the vast majority, according to every database that we had access to when we were cops, it was Chinese precursors manufactured in Mexico, not Venezuela. A boat the size that they're blowing out of the water has to refuel 20 times to hit Miami. Those
Hmm.
boats are not headed to Miami. I don't know what they're doing. They might be drug boats. Maybe they're moving drugs from Venezuela like to another country, to another port, maybe. But they're not bringing the to Miami. You have to refuel 20 times to hit Miami from Venezuela.
Hmm. So is that still, you said that we've blown up like 15?
Yeah,
It so that's still ongoing? Like
it's
that's still,
ongoing.
wow.
Being performed by a military that's not getting paid. Like they got paid by some donation on the last one, but like the Department of Defense is still out of business.
Wow. Um yeah, but I don't know. I don't even know about the government shutdown. Like at this point, like for me personally, um, I know it's messing up it's causing difficulty in real estate because of USDA
Yeah.
loans and appraisals and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. To me, it's kind of proving the point that we don't need you for as much as you say we need you for, Daddy
Yeah.
Government.
Yeah, I feel like they're both trying to cause pressure. They're both using the people to cause pressure
The same
on
thing.
yeah.
The same thing. Like the people, you and I are going to be the ones that suffer,
Yeah.
not the
The poor
politicians
people
that
on
aren't going to
SNAP.
work. Yeah,
The increasing size of people that work for the federal government in one way or another, the post office, the whatever, the this or the that are still being expected to do their job even though they're not getting paid.
yeah. And again,
But
if
you know
you've
the
got
senators and congressmen are still getting paid.
there, yeah. And so if they stay fed,
Yeah.
why would they? They don't care. Maybe they care. I guess I can't say that.
Well, I mean,
Um,
they care as much as it's going to affect their election.
their reelection. Yeah.
And you know what's going to affect their election more is the donation dollars from APAC than whatever this is.
Mm,
So, you know what they need to bash Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith for having extreme racist Nick Fuentes on their show. That's where Ted Cruz needs to spend his time instead of this government shutdown and the millions of Texans that can't eat.
I wonder. I wonder how many outside interests are encouraging Congress to vote, not vote, to stay shut. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder how many people like, so look at Ted Cruz or somebody like Ted Cruz. Yes, it may be in his political best interest to keep his constituents healthy, happy, safe, free. But if he's got somebody else who's got more dollars telling him, yeah, we need you to hold the line, don't open yet, don't, because we need this,
Yeah.
he's going to do what APAC or whoever that is
Uh-huh.
tells him to do because they've got the millions.
They hold the keys.
They've got the purse. And
If
all
you
you
want to
are,
get reelected, if you want to have a chance of serving your people, you better say this line that we tell you
yeah.
because you're not getting elected without our dollars. Charlie Kirk lost a $2 million a year sponsor 2 days before he was killed.
Do you think that there are foreign governments that are pushing us to continue to? stay shut down, or pushing people to not accept an agreement.
Well,
Or
wouldn't this be a wet dream for a Chinese or a Russian? Like our classic bad guys, our adversaries. Wouldn't our adversaries want us to be shut down? And they would want to do whatever they could to affect it. Now, it's probably not just China and Russia that are wanting to affect American politics in a way. You know what I mean? Like there's
yeah,
probably lots of people. There's probably many different theoretically, England would have some sort of interest for affecting U.S. politics in one way or another. And
yeah.
so there's lots of, I think there's lots of nefarious reasons that we're seeing. Some of them absolutely, like the pressure on this political party or that, and they're using their people as hostages to do it.
Hmm.
Much less MI6 or Mossad or CIA trying to, implement their will, which we know that they have done with Operation Paperclip and MK Ultra and all of these, like where they have absolutely affected in American politics and American propaganda for a political reason. Like
Hmm.
it's been it's not a conspiracy theory.
If anybody wants some details on that, they could check out the Exhibit A podcast.
That's
Two
right.
episodes, two episodes on MK Ultra.
That's right. That's right.
We got 4 minutes left. What kind of partying thoughts do you have?
Um, Nothing, man. The future is looking good. I think. Yeah, I know. I was gonna tell you. I mean, we don't have to get into it now, but I was so affected by some little wins. I finished a term on a lease for a truck, and I was so happy. I'm like, oh, thank God, I'm done with that bill. And that just me looking at my app and seeing that I was done with this lease, my whole continent changed. Like my shoulders were light, my back didn't hurt,
Nice.
and I thought about that because, like I said, this is a whole nother thing. I woke up in a bad mood because I was having a bad dream. This morning I woke up I remember having a bad dream and I woke up, it was like in a fighting dream, and I woke up almost looking for a fight. I knew I needed to go wake up my kids, and I was like walking toward my kids' room pissed off. And like I had to check myself. I'm like, dude, are you about to start a fight with some 9 and 7 year olds over a dream? And so I thought, I'm like, because I was in the frame of mind of fight,
Mm,
that affected the rest of my day. Well, what if I put myself, like, and this is when I was still kind of half asleep, half waking up, like, what if I put myself in the frame of mind where I was thinking of funny things or thinking of good things that happen, things that I'm thankful for, good
yeah.
experiences. And just that thought made me smile. I'm like, oh,
Um, it's a little bit ironic. The other day, I put this on my calendar and I have it repeat every day, every morning. Uh, and I just put on my calendar, how do I want to feel today?
yeah.
Because I had this thought about like I can now it's easier said than done. I don't know if I actually even believe it, but it seems to me that I have at my disposal, or at least legitimately I could feel any kind of way. I
This is
could
what I was going to talk about when I lost my train of thought.
oh really?
Yeah.
Um, I think you're onto something. And I beat you to it because I actually thought about this 2 days ago. You thought about it just today.
Yeah.
So it's
You
more
win.
mine. It's more well, maybe it was the universe like speaking, telling us the same thing. It just told me first.
Yeah.
But I think you're right.
The
Uh,
Holy Spirit is what we
I
said before.
wish I wish that um, it's one thing for me to know that hey, I can choose my attitude, I can choose what I feel,
Uh-huh.
but man, it's so much harder to actually do it.
Like I
Like
know what I'm gonna have to do, and it's gonna take some work.
but for me, I don't know. I don't know what I have to do. So I'll be like, today I want to feel fill in the blank. But then I'm like, okay, well, how do you feel that? Like, because I'm still in a shitty mood, but I don't
Yeah.
want to be in a shitty mood. So how do you get from here to there? which I guess that's probably a whole another episode.
Yeah, that would be cool. Is like an episode where we kind of had one like that a while ago,
A while
but
ago.
yeah, the tools in the toolbox.
That would be probably good for me just to be reminded,
Yeah, me
to not just
too.
talk about it, but be about it.
I'm gonna have to be about some things myself.
All right. Well, always good talking to you, homie.
Always good talking to you. You guys like, subscribe, put a heart, put a smiley face, a thumbs up, whatever you can on wherever you do this. But also go to YouTube. Go to YouTube specifically because I think YouTube has the highest monetization potential early on. Go to YouTube if you want to
We
help
got to
out
get
this
on
show.
TikTok. We got to get on TikTok.
Hey, my brother Justin Crafton, take the lead. Let me
Okay.
know what I can do to help you to get us to get Lawless podcast on the
Okay.
TikTok.
Say less.
All right, then.
All right. Later.
Peace.